few queued up already, but there's absolutely an opportunity to submit more, and we're just gonna run out the clock with Q&A. So I'll turn my screen sharing off, and we'll just, Aaron, if you could pull up the speaker when they're talking, that'd be great. One of the questions that's come up a few different times, you may have touched on it a little already, but I think we can go deeper, is so this is from Michelle Price. How many projects do your PMs take care of at once? And she says, I'm currently running 14 plus estimating. So sort of like the ratio of like jobs per PM or revenue produced per PM. You guys, does anyone have some insight on that?
I'll go through. Okay. Our guys, typically we're doing custom homes. So I'd say our PMs take on 2 to 3 jobs max. Really, they're comfortable, how comfortable they are with it. And we're, roughly between, 3 to, I'm going to say the job totals are $2 to $3 million each. So we have 2 PMs doing that on a regular basis. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the reno space. Our average job size is probably smaller, but we're typically sort of 8 to 12 jobs, depending on what we're doing.
That's good. Question from Duncan. How long did it take to get to the point where you're at now with your project management? Is this a many, many years long process? Is it faster than you think? What was your guys' time frame here?
Still a work in progress.
I would say when we started implementing PMs, it was quite quickly to get them working together as a team. And then I would say 100%, you're constantly working together to get better. It's just ongoing.
So you've not quite arrived yet. It's like a project manager's job. The work is never finished.
Well, no, but I think a good question is probably like, at what size were you when you brought on your first PM? And that's a question that I always wondered. It was pretty much, I brought my first PM on when we were about $3 million in revenue, or $2.5 million in revenue. I probably should have made them my first hire, non-production related hire. And I should have done that at about $1 million. I think my life would have been a lot easier had I done that.
Had you done it at $1 million? Is that what you said? So you did it late. In other words, you could have done it sooner.
I would have done it earlier had I could, if I could go back in time.
That's awesome. Okay, here's a question. What qualifications are you specifically asking for in an application process? Are there any? Is there schooling or professional designations that matter to you guys, or is it much more an experience personality thing?
I mean, I look for guys who have taken their PMMP in Canada. I don't know if it's the same in the US. So the program, and I also look at the communication between how we have, because I feel like they're such a big part of my business. They have to drive, or whatever you want to call it, with me.
Mm-hmm. But it's like, just to be clear, like there's a couple designations that you look for, but you're not looking for this huge laundry list of like education and programs or things that they've done. There's a couple things that help, but it is more of a personality profile thing than it is a, the school I've done type thing. Am I getting that right?
Excuse me. Yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of the project management skills can be easily trained. It's like, and there's a lot of tools available. Like one big thing is like we send our staff to Buildertrend University, which in a two-day fun course, they're learning more about Buildertrend than I know, and how to use it. Same with project management fundamentals. Like it's pretty easy to send them to a night school course or something like that at your local college to get that theory. I would definitely hire the right personalities over skills in general for a project manager. But at the same point, if it's your first foray and you have no experience in project management and you are trying to hire this person and you have a loose understanding to begin with of what actually project management is, you might want to get someone a little more experienced in there that can help you build out those processes.
I think that's a really good tip. The one thing that you needs to be said is like there is an academic like underpinning to this that exists in other industry. You can get a PhD in this. It's just like like a lot of things with construction, it's sort of not made its way to this space yet. I think it's on its way. I think very quickly you're going to see way more educational programs pop up, professional designations available, better coaching on this, better support for this. But there are institutions, teachers, educational programs that you can go to. They just might not say like construction on the front. It'll be sort of the more like project management as an art, as a craft to be mastered, and you can absolutely learn about it that way. How do you guys keep on top of change orders? Do PMs take care of these, or is it someone else?
PMs for me and foremans work together to create the change order. And weekly, it's in our status report right away for the client, and it's already pretty much talked about with the client prior to us going ahead.
Okay, good.
It's the exact same for us. So PMs and our site supers, who I think is the same as the foreman, they work together for change orders. PMs are the ones that are responsible for processing it and putting it through, communicating it, making sure it gets signed off. And also the biggest thing for change orders, if they do happen, is it's the PM's responsibility to make sure that the schedule is adjusted accordingly. It's not just financially.
This is a really good question from Braden. What is the best way to keep your field crew engaged with the program, such as daily logs, clocking in and out, using proper notes, and having some sort of urgency based on scheduled items? So this comes up about every bit of technology. Is sort of like what I would call fostering adoption. Like, how do I create buy-in with the team? It's like, yeah, the tool's there, but if no one uses it, what good does it do? Zach, maybe you have some perspective on this.
People like fun. People like positive reinforcement. It sounds ridiculous, but gamify it. Reward them. Literally, like, hey, whoever has the most daily logs at the end of the month, like, I'm buying them a $100 steak dinner. It's a small investment, but it turns it into like, oh, I'm going to get that. And I've seen it change mindsets, beer, food, parties. I mean, whatever you have to do to make it feel like you're not forcing another thing on them, that they're human. Psychology is the number one obstacle to changing habits. And those habits will form if you give a positive loop faster than if it's a punishing always, like, why aren't you doing this? Why are you messing up?
Yeah, I think one of our most successful rollouts has been on a quality standpoint using Buildertrend. We had them hashtag quality their pictures, and it was like a name and shame competition.
Yeah.
Who can prevent the most cost from rework being prevented on site. So we had our guys going through calling out. We had a gripe that our guys weren't calling out issues even though they were seeing it, like, and just fixing it. So it was being left to like the site supervisor to find. So we gamified Buildertrend and just said, okay, do hashtag quality and take a picture of it and outline what the quality issue is and what needs to be done to prevent it, and talk about. And then we had discussions about how much money it saved on each of them. And then the person that saved the most money at the end got it, and it worked really well. Everyone was engaged, and then I think we gave like a $500 gift certificate at the end.
I love it.
I'm gonna be honest about this. I think it's a work, because I definitely, if you talk to my wife who does all our accounting, she's constantly saying, hey, Greg, daily logs are done, but they haven't inputted it into X. And I have to say, I actually like the gift card idea or something like that in the month. I think that's a great way to get everyone together. But I definitely think it's, you got to stay on your guys, got to stay on people and keep working with them. We are humans. People have bad days and go home and they don't fill out the Buildertrend thing. I'm like, I send a little text late at night. I'm like, hey guys, you don't like me texting you late at night? Just get it done then.
Don't, for every carrot there needs to be teeth. So I completely agree.
100%. Absolutely. Always have the stick, but
no, but I mean, our site supervisors, it's in there. If they don't do this log, it affects their bonus. Like, they don't, if they're not doing it and they're not doing it at a certain point, then they don't get bonus on that portion of their compensation.
Yeah, in most of the sort of role structuring that we do with our members at BTA, like that sort of like admin upkeep, like keeping your CRM up to date, is a like bullet pointed deliverable in bold text. It's not like a do it if you have time thing. It is a this is what you were hired to do. This is your job thing. But I think the gamification piece is really good. If anyone wants to check out a full podcast just on this exact question, we did one with Ben Hodson, who's the founder You might know Ben Zach. He's the founder of Job Nimbus. And this is a whole, we just like, how do you make this easy? How do you implement a CRM or a project management tool without giving yourself a migraine? So if that's something you want to go deeper on, go check that out.
Listen, if you like that clip, you can watch the full episode by clicking here. If you're not yet subscribed, you probably should be, and you can do that by clicking right here.